Hey folks, this is Taylor Wiglicki with Strongman PT back again for our Monday Q&A. Got two questions this week, both of them pretty interesting. First one we'll start with from Sean, was what do we do to kind of address what he calls tennis elbow? Sean, I'm assuming by tennis elbow you're referring to kind of the lateral epicondylitis, pain kind of along lateral part of the elbow here. Big issue with that, honestly, is that lateral epicondylitis is kind of like shin splints in that it's a gross term used to define any pain felt in that area. It could be technically like an overuse injury where you are kind of extending the wrist a whole lot, like rarely occurs in tennis players, to be perfectly honest, but just a weak backhand. Happens more in what we call keyboard warriors, people who spend wrist up typing or who mouse a whole lot. Also, you tend to see it in people who are using like a rotary motion, like a screw or a wrench, gripping, and those are kind of like your primary overuse issues. But we're seeing it a lot more kind of in overhead athletes, people who compete in strongman, for example, is with poor technique on the clean, where you don't quite have the pop on the shrug to kind of get everything up and under. So what you end up doing is snapping that wrist back into extension to catch, especially for those of us who have the crappier shoulder mobility, and you end up here in the rack position instead of with the bar actually set across your delts. Problem with that is that repetitive extension and stress and catch of that wrist can create the irritation you're talking about. So, the way we adjust that, first off, let it heal. Stop doing anything that you're doing that's aggravating it. If you can stop the repetitive stress motion and see if that calms it down, it's a good way to figure out whether or not it's an itis. Another thing was with soft tissue work. If you can get a massage therapist who can kind of get in between some of those finer muscles of the extensor mass. Also, using anything to kind of get up into the distal part of the tricep here. One of the differential diagnoses for pain in that area is actually radial nerve entrapment. So kind of making sure to knock out potential other causes for your pain and not just automatically assume it's lateral epicondylitis. Hope that answers your question. It's kind of the short version, I guess. Next question was from Porter regarding kind of PRP injections and their efficacy for various conditions. I looked around a little bit. Research is still kind of coming in on this. Honestly, couldn't find anything that I felt like was really, really sound and something I put my name behind if I was going to offer it to somebody. What I can offer is anecdotal evidence. Basically, does it work? Sometimes. I've seen a couple people who have had injections to the knee, the ankle, and I believe the shoulder in one case, which was kind of unique. Shoulder didn't help at all. The knees, let's say, I think I saw probably roughly 5 knees that have had it done. 3 of the people it worked for, the other 2, I honestly noticed no difference at all. The ankle, they had so many other problems going on, it didn't really make a difference, I don't think. So I think it's almost like any other kind of option, like the same way some people respond to pain medicine and it freaks them out. Some people respond to pain medicine and it actually limits their pain. And some people take pain medicine and don't notice any difference other than they feel woozy. I think it's going to be very similar. Your body's going to metabolize the injection a little bit differently. Obviously, the intent is for it to help rebuild the cartilage and kind of straighten everything out. But as far as the absolute efficacy and permanence of that, there's other ways I would go personally before I would go with the injections. But again, it's not up to me, it's up to you and your doctor. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully that answers kind of everything for this week. I've got a couple more questions, but I want to try to limit it to 2 weeks so that the videos don't get too absurdly long. And then I'll be back this Thursday with our next episode of Press. Got a good article for you guys, so I hope y'all enjoy it. All right, have a good week, folks.